What's up, YouTube? Today I didn't realize that I was gonna step outside and look like I was dressed as the next cast member of the Fast and the Furious franchise. So today's not about cars, it's about firewood and being prepped for a season with two important things. First and foremost, I want to talk to you guys about the difference between green wood, wet wood, and dry wood. And then the last thing we're gonna go over is I'm gonna teach you how to build what's called, actually I don't even know if it's called that, but I've heard it called a Holz Hausen, and I'm gonna teach you how to stack your wood a whole new way that's a lot better, space saving, and doesn't look quite as ugly. This is my preferred way to stack wood, so I'll show you how to do that. Let's do it. So dry wood is obvious. It means the wood is dry, it's ready to burn. I don't think we need to spend any time on that today. When dry wood is ready, it's ready. But we are gonna distinguish between the two differences of green wood and wet wood. So here we have a tree that is still alive. I love this tree, so I'm not gonna cut it down. It's on my property, but if I were to cut this tree down today with my chainsaw and turn it into rounds of wood, it would be green. Still has green leaves on it, still alive, and the moisture from the tree, because it's still growing, has moisture within the cells of the tree. So it would take me a season, a whole year at least, to round that up, cut it up, and have it ready to burn next year. So you have to plan ahead. If you're gonna be cutting green wood, you cannot do that a couple weeks before the winter starts. You will be screwed. It will not put out any heat. It's gonna put you in a position where you can't keep your house warm, literally. So if you're like me and you heat your house with wood, you can't rely on green wood that late into the season. You can't be cutting up green wood and using it to burn. Now wet wood is a little bit different. So obviously green wood can be wet, but if it's still alive, the major issue is that the water is still within the cells of the actual tree. Over here I have what would be considered wet wood, but it's dead. So it wasn't alive when I cut this tree up, it was fallen and it was on the forest floor. So therefore I knew if I harvested this wood and brought it home and cut it up into smaller pieces, it could dry much faster and be ready to burn for the season. Now there's a few telltale signs if a tree is dead but wet. One, if it's fallen and it looks like the bark is coming off like this, so the bark isn't sticking to the tree anymore. It's kind of separated itself and the bark starts flaking off. That's a good indicator that the tree was not alive, and you can start cutting it up. Another thing is that, of course, if the leaves all on the tree are all dead. Now let me explain to you the whole wet fiasco that we're talking about that makes things so complicated. So this is that same tree I was talking about. It was a dead tree, but it's still wet. So you can see that moisture in there. That's just water from the fact that it was outside in the elements. So why this is all so important and why it should matter to you is because I can use this wood to burn this year. A couple days in the sunlight, maybe 2 or 3 days in the sunlight, that will be completely dried out. The water will evaporate out of it and it will be ready to burn. So my point is that I cannot burn green wet wood this season, but I can burn wet dead wood this season because it will dry much faster. Now if you don't believe me, I'll go grab a piece that I just cut 2 days ago and show you how far along it's already dried. You see the inside? No color separation anymore. Nice and dry. That's ready to burn now. So green, wet, not the same thing. Could be a lifesaver for you. Could keep you warm this winter if you learn the difference. Now let's go talk about my Holz Hausen, because I'm pretty proud of it and I like it a lot. This is what I've been told is called a Holz Hausen, but it also is debatable if that's even a real word. But it's a circle stack. And what happens is, and you can see mine here is nearly done. The idea is that instead of relying on a straight stack that can fall left or right, or not fit as much in it, not keep itself dry as well, whatever, this is a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, one, so it looks kind of cool. Two, it's quite stable because it's hard to knock over something that is shaped like that, right? It's harder to knock it over with that base. And three, it looks cool. So this is how I've stacked a lot of my white, blue, and black oak this year. this is the idea behind it. You will stack it in a circle. You'll fill the circle with wood any way you want. This is really big. This is huge. So I don't need to neatly stack in the middle, but you're more than welcome to. You're gonna stack the middle of the circle till it's about, I don't know, this much higher than the rest, or than the perimeter. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna start laying my pieces of wood like shingles this way, up to the top. So it'll almost look like sort of a pyramid shape at the top. So you'll fill the middle with a pile, and then you'll lay the wood on top of the pile, shingle style. So now I'm gonna show you guys the details on how to get one started, how to stack one, and then you'll be good to do one on your own. Let's go. We're gonna pound this stake into the ground. You're gonna take a tie down strap. Now obviously if you want it to be 8 feet from one end to the other of your circle, you're gonna want 4 feet on this. I recommend doing your Holz Hausen anywhere between 3, 3.5, and 4 feet. But set it at the length that you want because it's a tie down strap. Hook your tie down strap, walk it out all the way to your desired length. Get your ground spray and just spray down in a circle, just like that. I don't want more, marks on my ground, so I'm not gonna do the rest, but you get the point. Now let's talk about how to build the stack. Now, not unlike stacking wood any other way, eventually the wood starts to follow that sort of telephone effect, where a little bit of a miscalculation here eventually starts getting more and more aggressive. So the higher up you go, the more your wood's gonna start to tilt. That's normal. You don't wanna get too aggressive, so what you'll do is you'll place a cross piece going this way every once in a while where you need to, which will allow you to prop your wood back up, and then it will be flat again or level again, and then you can keep working your way up. So every once in a while when you start to get them tilting, you don't want them sliding off obviously, so you're gonna slide a piece in, prop them up, and get back to that level starting point that you were at. So you'll have to do that every once in a while. It's not as pretty to look at, but it makes it way more stable. And one more time, just so we're super clear about my Holz Hausen, when you get to the height that you desire, this is the height I'm kind of looking for, I'm going to shingle the top pieces all the way up to the middle. That way it looks sort of like a structure. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys build one of your own. If you do, please tag me or tell me you did it. This is how we're stacking wood from now on.